y'all, I'm Jamie Lynn Sigler, a mom, actor, and advocate. I know how overwhelming it can be trying to decide which treatment is right for you. I've been there. But you should know you're not alone. You can do this. Start with some research, talk to the community, and most importantly, don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions. You might find results that speak for themselves. That's how I landed on Kesimpta. Ask your doctor if Kesimpta, ofatumumab, could be right for you. You can check out the details at kesimpta.com.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, people have been asking if Battlefield 6 is going to have like cosmetics, not like cosmetics like you get to change your character's uniform, but cosmetics like, am I going to be able to play as One Direction or I'm trying to think of somebody, Nicki Minaj or who else, you know, like, yeah, they just having it where they just throwing in random people and stuff. And they thinking like, oh, the game's going to get the Fortnite and Call of Duty treatment. But people have to remember what Battlefield is. It is a military arcade sim, all right? Now, the reason why I call it that is because, yeah, it ain't like no simulation like games like Squad, or I'm trying to think of some other ones, Hell Let Loose. Even those games might be considered like sim arcade games and stuff. Simcade, that's what they call it. But anyways, but yeah, overall though, they make it look like a simulation, but at the same time, they know that people want to have fun with this game. So that's why it's like, you know, when you look at Battlefield, the old ones, the new ones, it's never been this game where it tried to fit in with like, I guess, like whatever genre, or yeah, like action shooter genres and stuff. But when you look at other games, Call of Duty, for an example, yeah, you know, they changed it. They changed the genre and they made it into something that it's not because of Fortnite's success. And Call of Duty thought, oh, we could do the same thing and it's gonna be okay. It's not. You know, like at the end of the day, you guys stick to the script. You guys stick to what your game is about. So when you're changing up stuff, other people are going to be thinking that it's normal, and it's not, bro. So, like, it's funny because, you know, seeing people ask that question, like, oh, is they're going to have, like, characters that you can play as in the game. Because, with Call of Duty, yeah, they added Nicki Minaj. They added Beavis and Butthead. What else? The two characters from American Dad. Roger and the father on there and stuff. I'm trying to think who else have they added throughout the years. Like, I mean, there's some characters that I thought was cool. Like, I remember they added Bruce Willis when he played in the Die Hard movies. They added Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, all right, I can, you know, look past that. But then it just seemed like that they got carried away. Like, they were putting more random people in the game, and it's like, fam, you know, if they're a fan of the game, then okay, cool. But I guarantee and I promise you, not one single person walking the face of this earth, whether it's her friends or family or her fans, whoever, I guarantee and I promise you, anybody that's in Nicki Minaj's circle has not heard this woman say, oh, let's play Call of Duty. If she is, then, like, she's been keeping it, like, mad low-key over the years. And I'm like, she wouldn't strike me as a gamer. But she seems like the type where she's going to be playing, like, them family games like Mario Kart. Or, what are some other games that, out there and stuff. You know, she might know what Fortnite is. I guarantee and I promise you, Nicki Minaj didn't know what Call of Duty was until maybe, yeah, she got, like, a lot of male figures in her life. Maybe they might have mentioned it. But if not, I guarantee and I promise you the first time she heard of Call of Duty is when Activision called her up and asked her, would you like to be involved in the video game? Because she does not strike me as a gamer. Maybe she is, and we just don't know. Hold on for a second. Like, you know, I know Google might not know the answer, but let's just see. Is Nicki Minaj a gamer? Let's just see. Oh, she is. She's been, okay, they just say she's been involved, but not. She has her own mobile game, Nicki Minaj the Empire. Yeah, there's like, but overall, they're not, saying like, it ain't like you're seeing her with a gaming headset on and stuff and she's playing video games. Yeah. They just showing her character in Call of Duty, but I'm like, I'm not seeing not seeing her sitting around playing no game where she's like, yeah, you know, she's looking like somebody that you'll see in a Twitch stream or something. You know, I'm not seeing that. But it's like somebody like 21 Savage. Yeah, he might have played Call of Duty once or twice. You know, he might be a fan of the game. So seeing him in the game, it's like, yeah, I guess like if he's a fan of the game, then okay, then that would make sense. But it just trips me out because I'm like, you would think that they would add gamers, people that actually play the game inside the game. Like, how come we haven't seen no Phase Jev skin? How come we haven't seen, like, there's content creators that I follow where I'm like, I would have rather have seen them in the game than to see. It's like you invite them out to promote the game, but you can't put them in the game, but you'll put somebody that don't even play the game. Like, the thing is this: Nicki Minaj don't need Call of Duty in her life, so that's why I've said stuff like this before where it's like, yeah, it's like she don't care about no Call of Duty. It's a check for her, so it trips me out where it's like you see where they pass up all these opportunities of adding people that actually play the game. Like, there's people that have built careers off of Call of Duty. Where are they at in the game? So that's why I'm like, yeah, that's where Call of Duty needs to be focused on. And I know, like, even mentioning Fortnite, I feel like that they popularized all that stuff where it's like they adding in random people in the game. But it just seemed like Call of Duty had ruined it. And now it's leading to the question is if Battlefield is going to have these characters that you can play as in the game. And it's like, that's not what Battlefield, it's never been that, fam. I've been a Battlefield fan since Bad Company 2. And when you play Battlefield, like, I guess, like, if I could just take the time to explain to you guys, like, what Battlefield is, and I feel like I did kind of explain it, but I feel like I need to go deeper in depth with the explanation of Battlefield. So, I started playing Battlefield when Bad Company 2 was out. I remember there was this, like, special edition that they had. It came with all the, like, modes. It came, or, like, all the, like, maps and all this, different stuff in the game and things. So, anyways, then Battlefield 3 had got announced. And when you watch, like, if you go back and watch some of the trailers that they was putting out of Battlefield 3, like, it's no different than the trailers that they've been recently putting out of Battlefield 6. They make you look like you are in the middle of a war. That's the one thing with Battlefield is that they gave you a war simulation. It wasn't, no, we're doing this for laughs and giggles. We're doing this, we're not going to be all serious about it. I feel like Battlefield, prior before, like, you seen all these other big popular, like, military sim games coming out, like, well, I think Arma, it's been around for a time, but I feel like that, yeah, they probably looked at games like that. They probably watched some war movies. They went and contacted some actual soldiers and was like, hey, what can you tell us about the war? What could, like, here's the foundation of the game. What would you add, or what would you change, or what would you take away? And I feel like that they actually did some research about how war is. Yeah, they might have, from time to time, did some stuff in the games where it's like, okay, like, that, I don't know if that would actually happen or if that's actually real. But I feel like that Battlefield, before all the, like, other military sim games came out, Battlefield was probably the closest that we've ever seen to a military simulator game. So that's why I'm like, when I look at Battlefield and when I look at other war games, that's one thing that I think of when I'm playing war games is like, is this game going to have that same effect on me like Battlefield did back in the day? Because, yeah, with Bad Company 2, I put hours into that game. Battlefield 3 came out, I put hours into that game. 4 hours into that game. When they start getting to, like, Hardline 1 and 5 and 2042, like, I would say 2042, I did put some hours into that game, but it didn't have, like, that same effect on me like how Bad Company 2, 3, and 4 did. Because those, in my opinion, that was peak Battlefield. So, and it's funny because I think those are the Battlefield games that they look back at and they were all like, okay, we got to recreate this game and we got to actually do something good. We can't do like, because I feel like that EA, they have really been trying to listen to the fans. Because I feel like that after dropping a bomb on Titanfall 3 and then just solely focusing on Apex Legends, I feel like that EA, they finally had opened their eyes and they realized, hey, we're making a mistake. We got to do something to give back to the fans. We got to do something to have it where we get that credit back. We get that love back in things. So that's why you see where they're announcing, oh, we're coming out with a college basketball game. We're bringing back college football. What else? We're bringing back the actual Battlefield game, not that 2042 stuff. Because 2042, I know people will probably ask, like, why was 2042 not good? Because for one, they didn't have campaign. It was pretty much, if you guys remember Call of Duty Black Ops 4, where it was just strictly a multiplayer game, that's what Battlefield 2042 was. So I remember when 2042 was coming out, and you possibly could still find that first video stream. Well, because I don't think I hadn't started streaming yet. No, actually, I think I did, but I can't remember if I was doing gaming streams. Regardless of the fact, I remember when 2042 came out, and I was like, fam, where's campaign? I'm like, where's this Battlefield game that they made it seem like when they were doing the trailers, like I thought they were gonna have a campaign mode, you know, because they had that one dude that was I think he was in Battlefield 4, but he passed away, and I think it was like maybe like halfway of the, well, I don't think it was like halfway. I just remember he passed away around the time when Battlefield 2042 had came out, and I'm thinking there's gonna be a story like based off of his character or something, just based off of the trailers that they were showing, and it was just one big giant multiplayer game, and I'm like, fam, you guys can't do that. You can't just have it where you come out with a game and it ain't even the same game that was like before. Like, what are you aiming for with this Battlefield game? I'm like, this ain't Battlefield, bro. I'm like, yeah, you guys should have just called this 2042 because it ain't Battlefield. I'm like, yeah, it might look like Battlefield, but it's not Battlefield. And what's crazy is that it's funny because you see, and I don't know, maybe it was because of the pandemic and they couldn't really, but I'm like, I feel like how long, hold on for a second, how long was Battlefield 2042 in development? They don't say, hold on for a second, let's click on Wikipedia. Development, the game is developed by series developer DICE in Sweden with Ripple Effect Studios, EA Gothenburg, and Criterion Games assisting development. It's like they don't even say like when exactly it went into development and stuff. But
hey all, I'm Jamie Lynn Sigler, a mom, actor, and advocate. I know how overwhelming it can be trying to decide which treatment is right for you. I've been there, but you should know you're not alone. You can do this. Start with some research, talk to the community, and most importantly, don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions. You might find results that speak for themselves. That's how I landed on Kesimpta. Ask your doctor if Kesimpta, ofatumumab, could be right for you. You can check out the details at kesimpta.com.
I imagine that the game is, but I mean, like, if they start developing the game in 2020 and then there's like, okay, let's just release what we got, you guys shouldn't have released 2042. You guys should have maybe now like, okay, we're going to take a break. So at least then when Battlefield 6 came out, or if you guys did want to do 2042, at least there could have been more content with the game. But I'm with both games, you know, but yeah, it's like 2042 is one of the Battlefield games where I was like, I played it, from the time being of playing it, I thought it was all right, but comparing it to 3 and 4 and Bad Company 2, nowhere near being as good as those games. I was like, yeah, Battlefield 3, I was up in the middle of the night playing Battlefield 3 and 4, mainly 3. 3 was the one where I was like, yeah, bro, it was there was like, yeah, there's summer nights being in school, or yeah, and it was like, and then yeah, you had that summer vacation, you just stay up the whole night, fam. I was putting hours into Battlefield 3. So that's what I'm saying. Like with Battlefield 6, they're like, EA is like, we got to do that same thing like that we did with 3 and 4. You know, like we got to have that same game from back then because, yeah, it's like if we, and just even outside of 2042, talking on 1 and 5. 1 and 5, I feel like 1 was decent. 5 was like, okay, like every game right now is a World War II game because when did Battlefield 5 come out? I think that game came out in 2018, I believe. Hold on for a second. I got a Battlefield 5. Let's see. That game came out, yeah, 2018. And I feel like back then, a lot of people were trying to do like a World War II game. And it's like, okay, that genre has died. Like, please, people, come out with something else. You guys are just all doing the same thing. Like, okay, Call of Duty then came out with a World War II game. All these other developers then came out with World War II games. Battlefield, it's like, do something different, you know? So, but anyways, yeah, they just doing whatever is trending and stuff. So I think that that's why, even more so, where you look at Battlefield, my thing is this, if they were going to do something that was trending, they would have came out with an extraction shooter. That's what Battlefield 6 would have been. But they're like, no, we can't do that. Because when you look at, so when Battlefield 3 was coming out, I remember they uploaded that trailer. It was the Caspian Border trailer. And I remember it was so many people were talking about that trailer, like, on how good of a trailer that it was. And it's funny because there's this trailer that I watched. It was like the multiplayer reveal and stuff of Battlefield 6. And I'm like, and I felt that. I felt that feeling that I felt when I'd seen the Caspian Border trailer. And I'm like, that tells me that Battlefield 6 is going to be good. And that EA isn't joking around. Yeah, there might be some bugs and some problems with that game when it comes out. But what game has came out in the recent years where it ain't got no bugs and problems? So I'm expecting bugs and problems with the game. But my thing is this: I am not expecting this game to be bad. I think multiplayer is definitely going to be good. I think campaign's going to be good. I don't know what the third mode's going to be, whether it's some co-op stuff or whatever, but hopefully that's good too. But I'm like, you guys can't go wrong with campaign. I'm like, you guys need to add a campaign mode. That was the one thing that I did not like about Battlefield 2042 is they did not have no campaign mode, and that's probably one of the main reasons on why I didn't play that game like how I did Battlefield 3 and 4. And then I was like, I would rather go back and play some of the older Battlefield games than to play that, because I'm like, that's just crazy to me how you guys come out with a video game and it doesn't have no campaign in it. Like, that's one of those decisions where it's like, okay, yeah, EA, you definitely wasn't listening to the fans, because you guys could have did something. I feel like that more PvE content could have came out with Battlefield 2042, but it just seemed like that they was like, we gonna have to just take the L on this game, and we'll do like some updates here and there, but we have to focus on Battlefield 6 and making this game good. So I definitely think that EA, they're on the right track. Hopefully they don't go off track and they're like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do. My thing is this. Do what the fans want. Don't do what you guys want, because when you do what you guys want, then that's how you know that the game's going to end up being bad. But listen to the fans. See what the fans want. But you definitely got to bring back that formula of Battlefield 3 and 4. Maybe even some of the older, but like, yeah, Bad Company 2 and stuff. But I feel like, yeah, 3 and 4, that was like peak, especially 3. That was like peak Battlefield gaming. So that's why I'm like, that's what you guys need to be doing. You guys need to be coming out with a game where all these other streamers and content creators, where they are locked in on Fortnite, they're locked in on Call of Duty, they're locked in. Let's just see some of the games out there and stuff. Hold on for a second. I gotta open up Twitch and things. But anyways, but yeah, Marvel Rivals, Star Citizen. That game's, alright, I gotta see what they're doing with that game, because that's crazy for that game to be on the front page. I'm like, what they got going on? But anyways, but yeah, it has to be something where it's like, you guys are bringing fans over from these other games so they can play Battlefield 6. So that's what I'm like, and I know that they plan on doing that too, where they're gonna have like a beta release of the game. I know most likely it's not gonna be because I think when I last looked, it wasn't gonna be no long beta. I think they were gonna have it where it's probably for a couple of days and that's it. So I really don't know if I'll be able to get a chance of playing Battlefield 6. I definitely will try, but yeah, hopefully it's a situation where beta is a little bit longer. I mean, at the end of the day, and I think that's honestly what they should do, is that they should just put the game in early access. Cause, cause I think there was like, oh yeah, that's another EA game too, Skate. Cause I think they were going to do that too. And so I'm like, I think that's what they should do, is have it where multiplayer is in early access. People get to play that game, for as long as they want. Get all those, because I just feel like that when they do like them short beta testing, it's not enough. And I know there's gonna be people out there, because like the days that they're doing the Battlefield, I think they say it was gonna be August 8th and 9th. Hold on for a second. Battlefield 6 open beta dates. Let's see, PC Gamer. So there was August 7th through 8th. So there was like early access for Battlefield Labs members, and then August 9th through 10, open beta weekend 1, and then 14 through 17 open beta weekend 2. I think beta needs to be longer, because that's one thing that I've noticed, that with these games, when they be having like them short beta moments, it's when the game does come out, it's not all that good, and there's stuff that's messed up with the game. For an example, and this is a game that I always reference, because I'm like, that's what they should have did. They should have had it where beta was a little bit longer, but Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, I'm like, that was a game I remember when they were talking about it, and they had more than enough time to do whatever they needed to do with that game. I mean, they spent, what was it? They said 12 years not coming out with a test drive game. All of a sudden they come out with one, and it was probably the worst test drive game they ever released. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, I think that they should do like some early access thing where, yeah, maybe it's just multiplayer. They just kind of like test the waters, with the map or two. And then eventually they're all like, okay, we're adding in a new map. So make sure you guys like lock in, start playing, and, report any bugs that you see. And yeah, have like some like after game bug reporter. So like after a match ends, then you have like a little bit of time to type up like, oh, I noticed this bug. I noticed that bug, or yeah, send some like footage or something for somebody to review and things. So it's like, okay, like, let's work on this. But I just think that beta needs to be a little bit longer, all right? So I guess, like, all the things I would like to see with Battlefield 6, longer beta or more beta testing days, or they should just have it where it's like every weekend you could test out Battlefield, you know, all the way up until the game comes out. But anyways, longer beta testing, a long campaign mode, more PvE options, definitely some multiplayer maps, a lot of multiplayer maps. What else? You know, yeah, I guess like some co-op stuff, and I guess they could do that too, where it's like maybe some horde stuff, with co-op. What else? You know, or even having it where it's like some fan-made missions and stuff, where it's like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta take down this building, you gotta do take out this person, you know, but just something where it's like it leaves people playing that game for long periods of time. So you guys ain't gotta come out with another Battlefield game no time soon, you know. So that's what I'm saying. This needs to be the biggest Battlefield game of all time, and I think if you guys do something like that, you possibly, there ain't no possible way you could go wrong with Battlefield. But yeah, definitely avoid the cosmetic stuff that don't need to be in the game. I'm not trying to have it where I see Nicki Minaj running around the corner with a 50 caliber sniper rifle, jumping in the air, doing 360 spins, sniping me, or yeah, no scoping me and stuff. I'm not trying to see that. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.